Hey guys, we're going to be going back to Osta for another perfect clear that does not use Skye. Last week, this was the team I had planned to run after maintenance. It can be EX16. Now you'll notice this team is only EX15. That's because I was going to UOC extra copies of Bart and get him to EX3, and then this team would be an EX16 team. Because I already perfect scored, I'm not going to waste my UOC because I don't need to anymore. But the team wouldn't change any, so if you're copying this team, you know, Barch does need to be EX3 unless you've got EX16 from some other way on the party. But we're going to go ahead and turn on all the modifiers except for the one I can't because I'm only EX15. But like I said, this has all the bulk modifiers on, so there we go. And I will show the team after the clear is done. Alright, so let's get in here and try to get a clear using not Skye with a perfect score. So Adele on turn 1 is going to Jade Pendant. Now, I'm using 2 copies of Jade Pendant. If you don't have 2 copies, you only have 1 copy, you can do it with Louise instead. But because I have 2 copies, I can have Louise do her modified gear stuff on turn 1 instead for a little bit of extra morale. We'll fill double morale with Elena. Ling is going to shift. Now, Ling is not evading or anything in the shift form, no resistance gear, so she's going to get hit. Well, she might evade with natural evade, but if she doesn't, I gave her guts, so she won't die. So we're going to morale, we're going to Magnus, and we're going to Dragon's Bite, but I can't because Zidane needs to fill LB gauge first. Bart's will Calamity Border for morale. And we will triple LB fill with Zidane, which allows Ling to Blythe, Dragon. And make sure you do it in this order. There's a bug. If you do her Dragon Dancer after Dragon's Bite, it resets the stacks. So make sure you do Dragon Dancer first to stack it up. Okay, so turn 1, we got lots of morale. Very nice. Ling may or may not get hit here. If she does, she has guts. There we go. She got hit. Whatever. We gave her guts. We Lakshmi Synergy to take care of our Provoker. And now Adele is going to sing Zidane's STMR. Alright, because Lakshmi Synergy procced, Bart can just reload and do Calamity Border again. Louise is now going to exercise Jade for the morale, also for the status immunity. We're going to go back to the base form with Ling. She can't triple because we're not using her TMR in her shift form. So we're just going to morale and Magnus. And why are we Magnusing? Why is that on my list? Well, I wrote it down for a reason, so we're going to do it. I don't know why I wrote that down, but I'm not going to troubleshoot it in the middle of a clear. Let's go ahead and Legendary and Protection with Elena. And then Zidane. Now we're going to start using Mirage. So Zidane's going to double LB fill and Mirage to avoid damage. Now for convenience, I geared my whole party in evasion, but because we're using Mirage, we actually don't need full evasion. Alright, so turn 3, we're going to just Legendary with Elena. Bart will reload Calamity. Elena will just Legendary Heroine. Louise will Jade Moon Pendant again. We're going to Mirage and LB fill with Zidane. We're going to shift Ling, and then we're going to fill morale. We're going to get another stack of Dragon's Bite, and we're going to use Rallying Dance to turn on triple cast, because like I said, she is not using her TMR in the shift form. Alright, so here's the damage over time effect. We are going to dispel that on our turn. Alright, first thing in the turn, wait for all the auto casting to finish. Let's see, we're going to go ahead and clean movement. Then we're going to do an immunity buff. Oh, we gotta go back to the base form. Clean movement, immunity buff, and then we're going to disarming to break the boss for later. Elena will double fill morale and do Blessing of the Azure to make us break immune. Wait for the dispel to finish. Alright, we do that. We're going to shift Louise, and we're going to use her LB. This is going to deal elemental damage because she's using her TMRs, which are fire elemental. You can only hit the boss with element damage twice before the kill turn. This is going to be one of our turns. We're not going to deal elemental damage next turn, so keep that very much in mind. We're going to shift Zidane and start stacking him up as well. So stack Zidane, and then we're going to entrust over to Zidane with Bart to get his LB good to go again. Our morale is moving along very nicely. We're almost maxed out, although the boss is going to push it up. Yeah, just like Ling, in the shift form, Louise is not using any slots on survival or like, you know, resist or evasion. So she got hit, but she has natural guts, so we just immuned it. We don't really care. Turn 5, we're going to shift Elena. This is the turn we're not going to deal any elemental damage whatsoever. So no elemental damage on this turn. Elena is going to just set up though. We're going to Piercing Prism, and then we're going to Way of the Aurora and Way of the Blossom, just for the morale boost. We're going to shift you. Before we do this, let's have Zidane get another stack of his LB, and we're going to shift Bart and just do the Amplify. We haven't imbued yet, so this is all dealing non-elemental damage. We're going to, in the base form with Louise, we're going to Magnus, we're going to Amplify, we're going to Killer buff, and we're going to Mitigate buff. Ling is going to shift on this turn, and we're going to do Enthrall for the Dagger Imperil. We're going to do the Killer buff with Medium Stance, and we're going to do Celestial Dance as the last action to both refill her gauge as well as give us Mirage. Okay. Alright. So on turn 6, we're going to click the morale bar and we're going to use... Oops. We're going to click the morale bar and we're going to use Resistant Will. This is going to boost our morale, as you can see. Zidane is going to triple. Now we're going to do elemental damage again. We're going to... Okay, before we do anything, let's have Bart imbue the party with Wind with his shifted LB. We're going to shift... whatever the girl's name is. Louise, I can't think. We're going to Fire Amplify. We're going to Gun Imperil and double Ionic. We're going to do that a little bit differently, though. We're going to Ionic, Disarming, and then Fire Amplify, or Fire Field. So we deal less damage. I actually don't want to push any thresholds or anything. Alright. Although we're really far from a threshold, so it's fine. We're going to shift Elena. We're going to Legendary, Crystal Refragmentation, and then just Radiant Shield for something to cast. Zidane will True Meteor in double Scoop Art. And Ling, in the shift form, will fill Morale with Blithe, Ferocity, and she'll do Celestial Combo Step to grant chaining frames to the whole party. We're going to go ahead and click both of the morale boost as well, or the stat boost as well at the end of the turn, so that we, let's also click the heal because we're a little low on morale. Oh, that was the immunity buff. The cure. Whatever. Alright, so that should have gotten us to 200% morale. Exactly 200. So this clear is a little bit tight. I could extend the clear to turn 10 to make it less tight on filling morale. But, you know, it can be done by turn 7, which makes it quicker, especially if you're running for variance. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and boost attack and magic. We'll go ahead and fill MP. And let's get the clear in. So we're going to shift it LB with Zidane. Bart is going to triple Chaos Wave Awakened. Louise is going to quad. We're going to Disarming twice, Neutralizing, and then Magnus. Elena goes to the base form, where she will double Salvation and Piercing. Adele is going to shift. She finished the song. She's going to do the shifted LB to chain with Elena. And then Ling is going to triple Dragon's Bite to cap. Okay, so the timing here is a little tricky. You're going to send Louise and Bart first. You're going to wait just a moment. Then you're going to send Elena. And then you're going to send Adele. And then you're going to send Ling. Alright, so let's go ahead and try for a damage cap. And hopefully the finishers deal big boy damage. And we're looking for a 2.14. 2.2. Okay. That was a perfect score. A little bit tight, especially because this is pretty gear intensive, but it did not use Skye. So that was the big deal. And let me go ahead and show you the team now. Perfect score. Now, that was technically EX15 because I didn't have the this turned on, but as you saw, we took 0 damage the entire fight, or the damage we did take was immune. So this was irrelevant to the clear. You know, if I had an EX3 Bart, if I UOC'd EX3, I could turn this on as well, and the clear would not change at all. It would be the identical clear. So let me go ahead and show you the team and explain what's going on. So this is the party. The Espers are not critical other than killers, so put the killers, you know, where the Espers are. Yeah, we didn't use any skills from Esper, so they're not important. Just put them for your killers. So Zidane was one of the big boy damages. Base form, Galbana Lilies for just the auto thing. We gave him full evasion so that he can evade the attack on turn 1. I think he has guts naturally in his kit, so I'm not going to bother looking for it right now. I'm pretty sure he has guts naturally, so even if he had gotten hit on turn 1 without evasion, it wouldn't have mattered. And then turns 2 and above, we had Mirage for every single attack, so he didn't need any resistance. Oh, we actually didn't have Mirage on turn 4, which is when Louise got hit. In any case, this is the gear he was using in the base form. Lakshmi Synergy, and then improve a talent, Looming Wrath, to increase the chance that Lakshmi Synergy goes off. Full evasion in the base form. And by the way, we're not using immunity gear on anyone. Because we're using an immunity buff every single turn, it's always up. We don't need actually resistance or immunity to ailments from gear on anyone at all. You can completely ignore that. Shift form is just his big boy damage. Double Chronicle, lots of Undead Killer, lots of Dragon Killer, LB damage, and he stole Sephiroth's card because it's really good here. If you don't have this, it's not a problem. You know, just give him give him his own card, and then make up the missingness with other gear like Life for the Purge and all that. But yeah, this clear is gear intensive, which is just, you know, a fact of life if you're doing this without Skye. So yeah, he has maxed everything. Maxed Undead, maxed Dragon, maxed LB damage, and he was a DPS. So that was him. Let's go ahead and show Adele next. So Adele in the base form was our Provoker. She is full passive Provoke with Durandal, Skullplate, and Moogle Charm. She does not need evasion, so don't waste any gear slots on evasion. But she does need 150 to Fire, as well as 150 to Earth, Wind, and Dark. So Fire, Earth, Wind, and Dark on her, 150 to all. She does not need status immunity. We gave her Zidane's STMR because she's kind of like, just has a bunch of free turns. She sings this for the buff. If you've got it, this clear relies on Zidane, so if you have Zidane, I assume you have his STMR. If not, you know, get it. Yeah, so that's it. And we gave her Jade Pendant again, so that turn 1 she had an extra action. So we had an extra action to boost morale. So we did that with her on turn 1. If you don't have 2 copies of this, Louise could have done that on turn 1 instead. Shift form, LB damage versus, or evocation. Evocation, LB damage, she only shifted on the kill turn. Double sword for the Imperil, 5,300 magic, a lot of evo damage. And there we go. She's got 275 LB, 200 evo, and then 230 Esper. So, yes. She was the Provoker. Louise was a big damage as well. Base form, Jade Pendant so that we could help out with morale. Lakshmi Synergy, Philosopher's Stone, LB Fill. Full evasion just so that we don't get hit on turn 1 because she does need to save her guts for turn 4 as you saw when she shifts. But yeah, so full evasion in the base form. Or if you don't have enough evasion gear, you could go resistance as well. So 100 dark and wind resist would have worked just as fine. But you know, Either way works. Shift form, she was pure damage. Double conundrum, you know, just magical damage versus dragons and undead. There's her setup. Maxed everything. Maxed Reaper, maxed Dragon, 5,500 attack power, and she was DPS. And as you saw, when she shifted on turn 4 to get her stack in, she's not evading. She's got 50 evade naturally in the shift form, but she has guts naturally as well. So this clear, she got hit and gutsed it, so it's totally fine. Don't worry about that. All the rest of the fight, she was getting Mirage. Bart's in the base form. Again, I geared him for evasion because I can. If you don't have enough evasion gear, 100 to wind and dark would do the same thing. We gave him Riku's pouch. This is for an emergency, just in case that Lakshmi synergy does not proc and cure our provoker on turn 1. If if Adele had been paralyzed or confused on turn 1, we would have used. Actually, if Adele gets confused and not paralyzed, your run's over because Adele's got to sing on turn 2. But if Adele gets left paralyzed and Lakshmi synergy didn't proc, Riku's pouch takes care of that. Other than that, full evasion, Calamity Border to help out with morale on off turns, and I will be. I gotta take this. I will be right back, guys. Alright, guys. Sorry about that. I really shouldn't be recording videos right now, but I wanted to get this out there. Anyway, Bart's. I forgot what I was saying with Bart's. So Bart's has the Riku pouch in case. Yeah, I already explained that. Anyway, full evasion. Either invasion or resist. Calamity Border. Yes. Shift form. He does the Chaos Wave Awaken skill from Ling, which is a magic scaling physical attack, so he's geared for as much magic as possible. With this stuff, it's his damage contribution is pretty low, but every little bit helps. So gear him for as much magic as you can with physical killers, and yeah, he's got 50 Reaper, 50 Dragon. He didn't contribute a lot of damage, but he did contribute a bunch of damage by his Imperil and his Wind Amplify and his Wind Imbue. I got so off track here. Who did I not? Okay, we did Zidane, we did Bart's, we did Louise, we did Adele. All right, we didn't do Ling and Elena. All right, Elena base form is geared for damage. Obviously, we don't need any survival. We do Mirage on the turn she shift, and we don't need, like I said, with this clear, we don't need any status immunity, so we're fine there. She is just geared for damage versus Dragon and Reaper. There we go. She's got Dragon, 220 Dragon and 195 Reaper. Shift form, full evasion, some counter increases, Tifa's gloves, Cypher's coat because this gives increases counter by 50%, and then Lakshmi synergy so that we can, like I said, counter attack, cure our provoker on turn 2. Other than that, yeah, she does the morale stuff, and she's wearing the Celestite Helm of Will in both forms for the auto-cast morale per turn. And the last unit is Ling. Now, she's a little tricky to build because I did not use her TMR or LB fill stuff in the shift form because I wanted all damage. So it makes it a little bit tricky to do her rotation, but I will be posting a turn chart. If you can follow it along point for point, and it'll work out if you do it exactly as I do it. But base form does need TMR or STMR to activate her Trust passive, Dragon's Brush, and Call of the Wild. So we start in the base form and we shift on turn 1. Dragon's Brush, Call of the Wild, and triple cast LB Fill from Zidane allows her to start stacking Dragon's Bite on turn 1. So base form is just auto fill. She's full evasion in the base form because she gears for that like brainlessly, just like Zidane does. And then Philosopher's Stone, etc. Shift form, all in for damage. She is not evading or resisting in the shift form, other than her natural, and she did get hit on that turn we shifted. So we gave her a source of guts. She does not have guts naturally, so we gave her guts. So on turn 1, when she shifts, if she doesn't evade, I think she has 50 evade naturally. She does. And on my clear, just like Louise, she failed the 50-50 and got hit on turn 1, but guts saved her. So she's geared for damage, double sword because of Elena's Imperil. There we go. There's her card. And 275 Dragon, 280 Reaper. So here's the killers, and here is the gear. And yes. Okay. So that was the clear. I'll post the turn chart in the comments, and hopefully this has been informative. I'll probably attempt to do other clears using different units, this week. But this is the clear I originally had planned before that surprise off-banner Skye gave me the real easy cap last week. This was my plan A, and the Skye was just the change up. Anyway, you get the idea. I'll see you guys later.